is locked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Give me 1 second, you guys. I gotta get this together. Okay. Uh-oh. There we go. Phone was locked. And that was not good. And I am going live here. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, you guys. Just gotta line this up. Oh, Lord. Okay. And my volume. Make sure y'all can hear me. Oh, Lord. My daughter's phone. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Make sure her screen lock, it is off. This is not. Hold up. Something has changed. Okay. Oh, this might be a little complicated tonight. Okay, you guys. I am here. And I gotta go live on YouTube. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I'm having these technical difficulties. My little stand is not acting right at this moment. Give me a second. Oh Lord. Alright. Rotator lock is off. Okay. Okay. You guys, I'm just going to have to hold it. I apologize for my technical difficulties. I'm working with 2 stands here. So, I just might have to just hold this while I go into this live. Sometimes you just got to multitask. This is terrible. So, unfortunately, but I'm going to go to my YouTube group, my Facebook group, and bring them in. And here we are. Line this up. And you know, okay. Not going to take those chances. Oh, Lord. Okay, you guys. I'm going to try to line this up as best as possible and run 2 sets at the same time. So, apologize about that. I don't know why I'm so... Oh, Jesus. Bright. There we go. Okay. All right. And I'm still probably too bright for you guys, but it is what it is. All right. So I can bring you guys this information. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to tag a couple people that I am going live. So I want to make everyone aware this is the last week of our 2020 credit kickoff. Believe it or not, you know, time goes by really, really quickly. So I want us to kind of go out with a bang. And so I want to give you guys some real information, being that this is the last day. I am sorry, y'all. But if y'all don't know, jeez, let me step back. I got my lights going, so sometimes it just gets a little bright. So I apologize for that. Hopefully everybody is able to come in. Let me just adjust my light in order to make sure I'm not blinding you guys out at this moment in time. So I promise you guys I had it together, but you know how life is. Let me just sip my coffee to get some things together. But I'm gonna not tie up your time, but so long. And I want to, oh my God, no matter what I do, I just seem so bright to myself. I don't want to blind you guys with all this brightness, so I'm just trying to adjust my light. Okay, I think I got it. It is just what it is. I just got the Michael Jackson look going on tonight, child. I'm hoping, hey, it's the winter time, you know. Catch me in the summer. It's going to be a little better by that time. I have my tan going on. Okay, y'all. I wanted to end this with some results. Now, this is what we're going into our 2020 kickoff, right? What I want you guys to remember, we're at the end of the month, and I don't know how many people were present when we did the first one starting January 2nd, 2020. I was talking about utilization and how that utilization is very important, you guys, because utilization really is the key of boosting your credit. And so I gave you guys a tip to start that week paying extra payments on your credit card. I actually instructed you guys, if you got paid once a week, bi-weekly, try to make extra payments on your credit cards. And if you're not aware, your credit report updates at the end of the month. So it depends on really the companies, which your trade lines and how they work. Some companies do. You have to beat that mark of the 28th. Depending, like with me, I know with my mortgage, certain things has to be in, your payment has to be in by the 28th, or they will report that 30-day late on your credit report. With your credit cards, they have dates that they do close on. So a lot of times if you check and call your credit card company, they'll tell you when, number one, they report to the bureaus and update your credit report, and they'll give you your closing date on your credit card, and that's when your interest start to accumulate on your account. So what's important that you guys do, if you did not take the tip or you wasn't here in the group when I gave that tip, you need to make a payment on your credit card. If you can all possible, get your percentage under 30% utilization. Okay, you want to achieve that as quickly as possible. So just quick math, you know, if you got $100 credit card, it should be at $30. You want to get it under that 30% mark. Okay, so the closer, if you can get down to 10%, most of you guys will see a significant increase in your credit score within a matter of days when your credit score update. So I wanted to give you guys also a heads up of what's coming down the pike. I also apologize. I have people that's here from YouTube, and I had some technical difficulties with my stand. So if it's a little shaky, please forgive me. I'm going to try to find something to support so I don't have too much shaking going on for you guys. But one thing you have to be aware of, they're rolling out FICO score 10, and it's 10T. And it's very important that you guys start this year in the next 6 months to focus on your utilization. The trend that FICO is trying to go with, and that's the Fair Isaac company, that they actually just keep in mind, like Microsoft, how they have different versions of systems, and Windows 8, Windows 7, and they roll out different versions of Windows. Fair Isaac Company does the same thing. They are a computer, basically algorithm system that different lenders use to judge your credit worthiness. And so they have just came out, or what they are developing. And so is a FICO upgrading to a FICO score, and it's going to be 10, and it's 10T, because they're going to use really a system of really tracking your credit utilization over a 24-month period. So what that means is, if you're a person that maintain high credit card utilization on your credit cards, they're going to start tracking that trend, and actually incorporate in your credit score an average of that behavior. If you're a person that you have low utilization and maintain it, that will work towards your advantage. They're also starting to pay more attention to personal loans. So if you're a person that have high credit card debt, and you were planning on taking a personal loan and paying that credit card down because you could get a better interest rate, they're going to start looking at those activities. If you have a personal loan, they're going to really be focused on your debt, car debts. They can say, even personal student loans, looking at your debt and utilization, really paying attention to that area. Also, they'll be looking at late payments. So what the FICO credit score, like with the T, it's 10T, it's like a trending. So they're going to look at your trends, your financial habits over a 24-month period. So if you are a person that have a higher debt ratio, they're going to then take an average of that 24-month period and look at that debt to available credit ratio, utilization. So you really want to make sure when you're going forth and making some decisions, you want to be careful with your personal debts, okay? You want to be careful when you're taking out personal loans, your spending habits, and how you maintain your utilization on your credit cards. Because now people, they are really clamping down. Really what they're looking at, really trying to get a real marker on people that are financially struggling. So they have called themselves just weeding out even more. They're also putting a big emphasis on you applying for new credit. So that means inquiries, you fishing for new credit. Because like I always tell you guys, the reason why inquiries can add up and hurt, when they see that you're fishing for new credit, what that looks like to them, that you are in a desperate situation and you are strapped for cash. So you got to start going forth when you are working on your credit to be more strategic. And I kind of repeat myself on that. You have to be really strategic when it comes down to your credit score. A lot of people do not know all three true credit scores. And when it comes down to the Fair Isaac system, they have different variations of FICO scores. Different lenders use different variations. So you have to be aware, if you're looking for a certain type of loan, if you're looking for a home loan, lenders for mortgages is using a FICO score 2, 4, or 8 version. And the reason why those are approved for Freddie Mac and Freddie Mae home loans. So if you're trying to look at a Credit Karma, and which actually use a Vantage score, it doesn't even use the Fair Isaac system at all, then you're going to be for a rude awakening when you go to apply for a mortgage. And I'm just amazed at people how over and over again I keep expressing you should not be applying for any kind of credit if you don't know what your accurate credit score is for each bureau. And here's why. When it comes down to lenders, some of them exclusively will use Equifax. Some of them will exclusively use Experian. Some will exclusively use TransUnion. So if you would take a little time and investigate and know what your credit score for each one of those credit bureaus are, you can have more control whether or not you qualify by that lender's standards. So when it comes down to each one of those bureaus, their score for you will vary, okay? One of those scores would be your highest score. One of those scores would be lower, and one of those scores would be in between. If, for example, your highest score is your Equifax score, you need to start looking for lenders that pull from Equifax. Sometimes you can make a simple phone call when you're applying for the loan. Hey, where do you do your credit pulls from? Is it all 3 bureaus? Is it a specific bureau that you use? And be aware, I'm in the Northeast. Say if you're dealing with Bank of America, they might use a whole different credit bureau in the Northeast versus the South versus the West Coast. So you want to start to be more strategic when you're going out to apply for loans. A lot of people want to get in a hurry. They want just, and I'm like this. Don't think you can't make great strides and improvement overnight. Just like I'm giving you this tip, if you mind your utilization, if you're close to being maxed out on your credit cards, if you pay that down, you will see a boost in your credit score. That is the quickest way to increase your credit score. A lot of people think that it's disputing negative items, but the variation between payment history, which is 35%, and utilization is which is 30%, is only 5% difference. So you can make really great strides. If you really need an increase in your credit score fast, you need to focus on your utilization. And some of you guys are one large lump sum payment away of increasing your credit score up to 50, maybe even 80 points if you would take care of your utilization. And a lot of you guys, when you call me, that's really where you're suffering at, is your utilization. But you have to keep in mind, if you're preparing to get a loan, you need to make sure that you're more strategic. You need to make sure, if you're going for auto loan, to research. Auto loan lenders, they use different variations of FICO also. Some of them, and I wrote it down, use a FICO 2. They'll use a FICO score 3, or they'll use the most common version of the FICO score that's used is FICO score 8. So what you will need to do, you can go to a MyFICO to get a credit monitoring system. I personally am with Experian. And for your Experian report, they have all these FICO score variations for your Experian report, so you can get a accurate credit score for that loan that you're trying to get. They will give you your credit score for your mortgage. If you're going for a mortgage, what your credit score would be. they will give you a credit score for auto lending, which is different from a mortgage score. They'll give you the more accurate score for credit card companies and what your score will be. So you really just have to pay attention. But with this rollout with FICO 10, this is the way that they're trying to go. And like I tell you guys, your whole thing, if you're not using your credit to leverage your credit and gain assets, you're going to be on the losing end sooner or later. Because a lot of us that even had credit issues in the past, your main issue was a lack of cash flow. So what I'm pleading with you guys in the next 6 months, whether they roll it out immediately, whether it takes some time, if you're able to go ahead and start working on your credit now, you would beat this trend. Even if they're going to start to look at the prior 24 months and you're already 6 months in, at least you would be able to, it will just take a couple months for you to phase out some of your behavioral trends if you were carrying high utilization. So I just wanted to give you guys just a preview of that information. Start to handle your collections. You know, it's really coming to a point, if you're not strategic, if you're not teaching your children how to manage their finances, if people are getting into massive student loan debt, in my personal opinion, with student loan debt and this new change to the FICO score 10, student loan debt is the next big bubble, the next big housing bubble. Student loans, it says, is at a default rate at 44%. So with this new FICO score 10, when it comes down to how they're seeing and how it's going to rate debts that are trending, if you are in default with your student loans for a number period of time, you're going to see a really big hit with your credit score. A lot of FICO score 8 and other versions, soon as that negative credit reporting hit, it will dip your credit score. Okay, so you might see 50 to 75 points dip. But as time go on and it stays, you know, in default, let's use an example of your student loans, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, when it gets to a year or 24 months of that consistent default, the effects is lessened as time go by. But the new change with FICO score 10T, they're going to calculate that trend differently. It's not going to lessen. It's going to decrease your credit score every month that you have that default. So my people that's in student loan debt right now, if you are in student loan debt and you have federal student loans, it is time for you to consider to reach out to your lender and look into student loan rehabilitation. And what they will do is give you a payment plan with that, which is based off of your income. Some people are paying as little as $5 a month, and they will give you a certain period of time to get that student loan back out of that default standard. Usually it's about 10 months. And a lot of you guys, to avoid your tax returns to be taken, you need to work out a deal now with your student loan debt, because once you do that rehabilitation, a lot of the collection practices that they have, like taking your tax returns, being able to get more student loans to go back to school, things like that, even to get a mortgage, to be able to qualify to get a home, it will reverse. It'll reverse those penalties. And even if you have rehabilitate that loan, you'll be eligible once again for deferment or forbearance. But with this new rollout of FICO score 10, you want to make sure that you guys, if you have student loans in default, make sure that you get those student loans out of default, because it will penalize you even further if you continue on with that defaulted trend against your credit score. So with this new rollout, it's the statistics right now that it will change about 100, and I believe it's 110 million people that will see a change in their credit score. It could be better or for worse, depending on what your history is and how you do handle your utilization on your credit cards. So I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to be aware, even to start taking steps if you have now that if that comes in, the way that they will start to look even at collections may change with it also. So just get ahead of the curve, you guys, because you have time. It's really time for you to look at improving your personal credit and then trying to use your personal credit to access business credit by starting a business. Because one advantage of starting a business, personally guaranteeing and getting a funding for your business or getting a business credit card, even though they're pulling your credit report initially, because if anything happened to that business, they will hold you responsible. But the key is on that business credit card, it does not report to your personal credit history. It will only report to your business credit history. So you will have access to 8,000, 10,000. And if you're carrying higher debts on that credit card for your business, it will not calculate against you with this FICO score 10. And they call it 10T, or you'll see them say FICO score 10. So that's a new way. And that's what you guys have been hearing me saying. Like, I just want to try to obtain business credit, okay? Because you have to find a way to get more funding, create cash flow, so you do not have these problems over and over again. You do not have loans defaulting. You do not have late credit card payments, because they are tightening up their standards to try to sniff people out that are going through financial difficulties. So it's just really turning into a serious issue. I had this afternoon, someone reached out to me for a friend, and they were saying they were in the banking industry, and they found their job, their bank, found out about some personal information of theirs. And it's causing some problems with their employer. But the advice I told them, they would have to talk to an attorney that's right there in their local state. Because if you don't think credit really is a big issue, if you're in the banking industry in the state that I was operating out of, Connecticut and New Jersey, with my license as being a licensed producer, or that's a licensed agent, being a licensed public adjuster, they look at your credit history. They look at if you have filed prior bankruptcies. You are not eligible to get a license. You have to be financially responsible in order to even have these licenses. And a lot of jobs in the banking industry, if they feel like you're under a financial strain, they will start to move to either monitor you or maybe even replace you in that job position. Because here's the thing, they know you're dealing with money. And they feel like if you're really having a financial situation going on, you run the risk of stealing money, you know, basically just stealing money. That's what it is. They are afraid that since you're in that financial position, you're gonna steal. So that's the long and the short of it. So they really, in those industries, the banking industries, even with me having a license as a public adjuster, I had to get a security bond. And if your credit looked a certain way, you wouldn't qualify for a security bond. You couldn't get bonded. So that's why I said, you guys, they're really changing a lot of standards. So you really want to push more at this point to start handling some things in your credit. I see some people have some questions, so I do want to address a question. I got the deluxe package from you. Who do I send the lender TransUnion? If you guys have purchased some of my letters, I'm glad that she asked this question. You guys, when it comes down to collections and disputing, I tell you guys over and over again, you must send that debt validation letter directly to the company that's reporting it. If you are following my information, the last thing, because I get this all the time because it's been beating people's head over and over again. Like I tell you guys, I'm not credit repair. So I'm giving you inside information. I've been really an investor in real estate. So this is where I found this out. Do not dispute through the credit bureaus. Do not. You take that validation letter and you send it directly to the company that's reporting it on your credit report. So I posted my letters, my results. The reason why I got those results, you guys, is because I went directly to the company that is reporting the negative information. Here is why. When you're dealing with the bureaus, you are a formality to them. The bureaus consider you a nuisance. The reason why you are not their customer, the banks is their customer. You're their product. They sell your information to lenders. That is what they're in the business of. So far as what they're concerned, being that bad credit is a big business because banks make money off of interest by lending you money, and the worse your credit is, the more interest they can charge you. They don't want to remove negative reporting off your credit report. Period. Point blank. That's why I put in the post, 79% of credit reports in the United States have inaccurate information. And that is not by accident. Okay, you guys? Bad credit is big business. The poverty business is an industry. So, what they have put into place is a system called the Oscar system. When you send your dispute letter, the reason why it comes back to you, no matter what, verified, is because of this system. You send your letter there, and it will create a 3-digit code or number. That system will check with LexisNexis. That's a data provider information system. And if it's reporting this information against you in the background, it's automatically verified. Now, that's against federal law. The Fair Reporting Credit Act, they are supposed to investigate that item. They are supposed to pick up the phone and call that company and speak to someone to verify if that is true or not. But they don't do it. The reason why: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they make over $1 billion a year. So like I tell you guys, the risk worth reward for them is far greater than them worried about you bringing a lawsuit against them. So they're making so much money, your formality, and they don't want your letters. Part 2 of that: if you're dealing with a credit repair company and they're giving you template letters, credit repair companies under the Fair Credit Reporting Act does not have a right to dispute for you. So they put the eOscar system in place to weed out templates. That's any letter that another person have used. If that system pick up any familiarity in that letter with someone else's letter, it kicks it out as being a frivolous claim and send it back to you. It kicks it out. So this is why these companies tell you to handwrite the letter, because what they're trying to do is have you to get past this eOscar system. They're trying to help you put that letter in somebody's hands. So if that system does not convert that to a number or digit and verify it with LexisNexis, you might get lucky enough that it gets into a human's hands. Those humans are located outside of the country. They get less than 1 minute to verify your letter. And what do? They turn to their computer and they do the same thing as the eOscar system does. They go to LexisNexis. If LexisNexis is reporting that item as your item, thumbs up, it's verified. They send it back to you, dispute denied. So with my letters, what I'm guaranteeing, if you send it to that company itself, it will get into human hands. You don't have to worry about this. Is a backdoor way. eOscar works 2 ways. Not only does it work for the Bureau, but any business, any collection company that is reporting the negative item against you has access to that system. That is why your credit card companies, what I just told you earlier in the video, there's a certain date that they update and let them know if you paid on time or if you did not pay them. They use the eOscar system. They log in and they report paid or not paid. Okay? So, if you send the letter directly to them, they can change that information against you within 30 days. Instead of sending rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of letters to the Bureau. This is why you guys' disputes are not working. Ding, ding, ding. Point blank, period. This is why I get this stuff removed within 45 days. I'm going directly to the source. Like I tell you guys, if somebody is spreading a rumor about you, you don't go to the person who heard the rumor. you go to the person that started the rumor and say, what's up? You started this rumor. And guess what? You address them properly, they're going to go back and change the rumor. Hold on, my bad. So with my packages, I'm giving you the information to let them know, my bad. Okay? My strategy. What Sherry do is send them a debt validation letter. And this is the way credit collection companies work. If you had a credit card, and for people that follow me, this sounds redundant, but I just want you guys to understand this. If you had a credit card, you applied for that credit card online. Your application was done online. You applied for that card, they said you're approved, and they send you that credit card in the mail. Here's the catch. When you get that card, people rarely sign the paper that comes with the card. That paper is the contract. People just take the credit card, sign the back of the card, and use the credit card. Here's the problem. When you default on that credit card, you never signed and sent the contract back. So, credit card company and say, hey, this person has not paid me. Tax season, bad debt, charge it off. When it says charge off, that means that the IRS is giving them a credit. So if you had a $2,000 debt, the IRS say to Capital One, whatever credit card company it may be, wow, Sherry didn't pay you $2,000. You took a loss. We're going to give you a $2,000 credit. Don't worry about paying the extra money in your taxes. Now, what the credit card companies do, they know they can't take the money directly for you because they would have problems with the IRS. They make additional money by bundling all these so-called bad debts, and they sell it to collection agencies in a big portfolio because they know they cannot collect from you anymore. If you go and pay them the $2,000, they actually made $4,000. And that will be under the IRS looked as an unfair enrichment. So how they backdoor this is they sell the debt and make money off of it anyway. So trust and believe, they're not taking a loss anywhere. A lot of people, I owe it. I felt you don't. The IRS just gave them a tax credit. They can't even take the payment for you. So when they sell that debt, they sell it to collection companies. Collection companies, in turn, call you. They understand the fact that you never signed that piece of paper and sent it back. So what that means, you don't have an original contract. With the initiation of that contract, if you would have signed it, you agree to the credit card company being able to sell and transfer that loan. Being that you did not agree to that, they understand they have to catch you up in a verbal agreement. So this is why when they call you on a recorded line. And when you begin to get on the phone and tell them, I'll pay you this, I'll pay you that, boom, they have you. Now you bonded a verbal agreement. All my married people understand when you bind a verbal agreement, you have to go through a legal process contract called divorce because you signed a verbal agreement. Here's the thing. When you send out my debt validation letter, What you're going to ask them is, number one, where is the original application that I signed? Number two, where is the original contract? Where is my permission to the original creditor that this debt can be sold? The problem is it doesn't exist, especially with credit card debt. Even if there's other debts like a repossession, other things like that, you still in that paperwork, they have to produce you that original contract showing that you gave legal right to the original creditor to sell that debt. Same thing over and over again. Even with the collections of medical debts, they have to produce you original paperwork. This is what they do. In order for them to get around it, they'll send you back a bill from your Verizon account, from your credit card account. But because a debt is owed, it doesn't mean that a person have a legal right to collect on that debt. Because you have a light bill, it doesn't mean I can knock on your door and say, hey, pay me your light bill. I don't have a legal right to do that. It's the same thing with them. This is why they record their phone conversation. So they understand they never gave you any goods or any services. They don't have a legal standing. So when it comes down to my packet, when you follow the instructions of what I'm giving you, and in my debt validation letter, I ask for the original contract, I ask for the original application, and other items that they must have to operate as a legal collection company, because they have rules and regulations even to operate as that business. So I include those things in my letter. If in return they do not produce these items, you have a legal standing to go after them for defamation of character. Here's why. If I go around telling people who's going to lend you some money that you owe me a debt of $1,000, $700, and it's not true, I just lied on your character. You can sue me. You can legally sue me and get money. So when y'all see my settlements, if you want, go to the Facebook group and you'll see, go to my regular page. The settlements that I got, it's because I sued easily. You can legally sue them under your own state laws for defamation of character. So that is what I do. This is why my debts get removed, because I have given y'all a backdoor way. I'm not a credit repair company. I'm not trying to sucker you to send letters that ain't going to produce nothing, because you're paying me a monthly fee, or you're paying me $500 or $600 for whatever item I could get off, or make you pay me a deposit. No, I freely give you the information. And all it costs me in my state to file against them for defamation of character is $48. And then I get the money out of them and make money. Honestly, I don't have no more collections. I wish I did, because I got me some checks, one right now on the way. I gets paid and I get my credit cleared up. Win, win. Win, win. Win, win, friend. Win. So if you have my packets, number one, don't try to dispute nothing through those bureaus unless it's instructed. Now, I have right now on my laptop, what I'm working on is public records. which means if you got an eviction, if you got a bankruptcy, if you got anything like that, even possibly child support, you will initially go to the direct source, same model that's reporting it on your credit report, and you gonna find out from that government agency, the long and the short, ask them, hey, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and LexisNexis is saying that you reported and verified with them this negative information. They're going to reply to you. Bankruptcy court, your local county clerk, municipal court, they're going to reply, we do not report to credit agencies directly. Then you can take that information and kindly send it to them and tell them, get up off my credit report. Because what they're doing is getting that information from LexisNexis. That's who they're getting their information from. LexisNexis. And I will give you instructions. If you don't, want to buy the package, you just go straight to LexisNexis website and you could obtain your credit report from them, because there is one. And if you think what's there at Experian and TransUnion and Equifax is something, baby, they got your whole history. I am 41 years old, and they got where I went to high school at, period. What year I graduated. Every car I own, every home I own, every home I lived in, all of that. And they're redlining you. I went into detailing that. They look at where you live. They look at how much your house costs. They look at how many driving traffic tickets you have. They look at what your house is made of. They have my house construction detail, how many units, everything. And that's how these companies are working. Any public record, LexisNexis is the reporting agency reporting to the bureaus. So in my packets, I help you navigate all of that. I help you deal with those things. You can freeze your LexisNexis report, and also another data provider, big one, is SageStream. You can freeze your SageStream credit report. There are certain, like California, I know New Jersey is one, that allow you by state law to freeze certain credit reports. So you can stop them. SageStream, LexisNexis, if you freeze that credit report first, then send your dispute through the bureaus, it won't come up verified. Period. Point blank, period. But I only suggest that only if you have public records. It can be a longer process to do those public records, to work it that way. But if it's just a regular old run-of-the-mill inquiry, a regular old run-of-the-mill collection, deal straight with the source, period. And you can get that removed. To me, inquiries and collections, I put hashtag Sunday breakfast because I'm eating off of them. Word is bond. I love them. I wish I would. Oh, God. I wish they would. I love them because I get checks. I get checks. I posted my laptop I bought with my spoils of war. Point blank, period. And that's why people that talk to me, I tell them, what you got? I got 7 collections. Girl, you got some money. You ain't even got no problem. You really got money. If you work this right, you can get paid. That's what you can get. But I don't know why people don't get that secret sauce. The secret sauce is not going to the bureaus. Period. And people ask me, I don't get though. How do I? They'll say, I disputed and it came back verified. I said, so you went to the bureaus, huh? I said, yeah. That's why I did that. Because you ain't go to the source. Period. That's the whole thing, y'all. Go to the source. Go to the person reporting it. They can remove it much faster. That's it. And we have people in the group that just sent out a letter and they removed it. That's why people are like, should I pay them? No, not when you can send a certified letter. And if you do it right, the information I give you, it's a way to do that. You got to do a little research and find out, who's 2 or 3 people that work there. Start off there. You'll get you some money if you work it right. So I hope that answers the question. Anybody that bought my package, the reason why nowhere on there is no dispute to no bureaus, if you're dealing with a collection package or a medical package, it ain't going to be one, because that ain't where you go. You go directly to the source. And people, well, they came back verified. I got the next letter that if they send you a bill, the next step, what you going to have to do. So if you read the instructions, I already got to you step by step. You go straight to the source. So you don't go to the bureaus. If anybody have inquiry package from me, if you have a collection package or a medical package or the deluxe package, do not send anything to the bureaus with those packages. So I hope I made that clear, because I do get that. Even usually it's not people that own the packets, it's people that are asking, but I dispute, and it come back verified. As soon as they say verify, I say, oh, you done went to the bureaus. I already know where you at. I already know where you went wrong. That's where you went wrong. Not a dispute letter. You send a debt validation letter. Those are different. Y'all, it's a different. A dispute letter is disputing inaccurate information through the bureaus. No, debt validation letter is going to the collection agency or the person that's saying that you have a debt. I want you to verify this debt with these items. So that's 2 different processes, but people mix it all together. And if you do a debt validation in the first 30 days of an initial communication and they do not respond or cannot produce you any documentation, they cannot report it on your credit report. Period. So even if you get a collection letter in the mail, you need to send a debt validation letter. If you send a debt validation letter and they do not respond, they cannot report that on your credit. So that's what is in my package. For those packages, collections, medical collections, you're going to have a debt validation letter. Everybody that got my free inquiry letters to take the first step, you are going to send it to the bank, the company that access your credit file, and what those letters are asking for is permissible purpose. Those are even much more easier to get off inquiries, because you never gave them a payment, a trade line, and all their applications is done online. They don't have your ink signature. How can they prove that you even initiated that inquiry? You have to give them permission to access your credit file. You have to give employers permission in writing to access your credit file. They cannot produce it. Oh, this was an online, they'll send you a picture. This was an online inquiry. No. No, sir. No. Where's my signature? Not an online. No. Anybody could have did that. Any Joe Schmo that got my information could have did that. As Shaggy said, wasn't me. Wasn't me? Let me run down here and tell this court how you lying on me. And let me get paid. That's what you do. I mean, I don't know how much clearer I could make it for y'all. Let me go and tell these good folks at this courthouse how you lying on me. You lied. Where will we defame your character? On my credit report. And I went to apply for some credit and they said nope, because you done lied on me. And I needs to get compensated for my losses, my damages. You suffered damages. Couldn't get a car, couldn't get a place. I got to Sunday breakfast, hashtag that. Sunday, I gotta eat. Eat. As my brother said, I handle something for him. Home cooking with love. Home cooking with love when it's for the family. Sunday breakfast when it's for me, because you gotta eat. I'm going to eat off of that. Let me get some checks. So if y'all got 7 collections, you got 7 opportunities to get you some money. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. But I'm a different case. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to push the envelope. I'm about to get paid. You name a couple of them folk that work down there. You name the president, the vice president. I got them on the phone. The man was, oh, but why you sue me? What, sir? I called y'all and asked you to take it off my, you should have disputed through the bureau. No. No, sir. I wrote my letter to you. Well, I listened to all your phone conversations. Yep, and you did. And you wouldn't take it off. So now I'm suing you. He was blown away. And what amazed me, why you do this to me? But they sleep well doing it to y'all every night. Don't feel no way about it. That's why I love it. Me, myself, I loves it. I ain't gonna lie. Lord, I just give God praise sometimes. When I file that paperwork, here, sis, take this to the clerk. Put that in. Give God some praise already from a check. Yes, it's coming. Yes, I do. And guess what? It manifests. Boom, right at my front door. And it says FedEx certified, released, delete. Yeah, dude, that's how it works. And I said, look at this, Jesus. Look at Jesus. Look at God. Blessed be the Lord our God. Teach my fingers how to walk. Because, yes, I do. I'll type me up some letters, deal with my little paperwork. I got some copies right there. My kids will tell you, I got a whole little stack of my lawsuit. Go right there. You getting sued, you get sued. You sued. You're cool, but you're sued. I'm suing everybody. As many names as I could get. I put one, I sued 7 people. Because this is how it works, y'all. If them folk don't show up to court, and if them folk do show up to court, you know what they know? They done lied on you. And guess what's going to happen? You going to be their creditor. Because you going to come and you going to put a judgment. The judge going to put a judgment on them. And that same public records that folks reporting on you going to report on them. And then what you can kindly go on and do is go right on to the constable and tell them, I need to get that money out of them bank accounts. I need to put a lien on somebody's property because they owe me some money. I need to garnish somebody's check. See, that's what they do to you. I just turn it around on them. That's it. That's it, y'all. That's it. I don't know how plain I can make it. I've been preaching this for years. For years. I showed you paperwork for 2008, 7, till now. Ain't nothing different. Ain't nothing different. It just ain't nothing different. I don't know what else I can tell you. I really wish I could make it a different way to say it or something like Puff Daddy remix it, but I can't. You know, all I could put on it, I guess that's right. That's right. I don't know how I can make it clear. That's just the same story over and over. So I hope that was informational. Anybody else got a question? Because I just went on a rant. But let me see. Anybody else? If we send the debt validation letter to the collector, what is the percentage rate? I would have to go to court. I did this maybe. I'll tell you on mine. And for people I work with, 0. I haven't went to court one time. Actually, they're settling now faster They used to wait till the day before the court. Now, they call me 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Admittedly, probably in 2 or 3 days. I don't know how your state work or whatever. I know in my court rules, you can call any attorney, ask them, hey, how fast, but these people don't want to go to court. The issue is you don't get greedy. The key to it is you sue them for an amount that is not worth them showing up to court. So here's how it works. These are companies. Where any company, they cannot defend themselves. One of them employees can't come up in there and say, I'm here for the company. No, they have to hire an attorney. So that's already over $700, $800 right there. If this company is out of state, they got to fly these employees that you name, the president, vice president, treasurer, whoever, up here, okay? Or in your state. That's more money. And they're going to lose because they know darn well you don't owe them no money. They don't have no contract. They don't have a contract. So with that, they're going to settle and give you money. If you say, look, for me to settle this case, I need like $400, $500 and delete that. As that little boy said, delete all that. Delete all that. They delete it. If you want, depending on what it is, update the status to paid as agreed. Now, instead of bad credit, or taking that credit line off, they update it, it's satisfied. If you make them paid as agreed, my bad, not satisfied. You want paid as agreed. Paid as agreed. And so now you got a positive mark on your credit report. And that's just it. Some of them just only need to delete it because what they're saying, since you never had an account with us, we can't update it in that fashion. Some of them will. And they'll update it as whatever the original creditor was. If it was Capital One account, paid as agreed, and which will make a positive credit marking on your credit report. So that's the way you work it. It's about having leverage, you guys. That's what my system is leverage, okay? The problem is with collection agencies, these creditors, they have leverage against you. They know reporting this stuff on you is ruining your life. You have absolutely no leverage. So when you initiate a lawsuit, as Adele said, turn the tables. You're turning tables. You're turning tables on them, okay? You got to turn the tables. And so, number one, you got to understand the law of contracts. If a person don't have an agreement with you, your word against their word. And they don't really have a word. You never did business with them. It's extortion. It's illegal. Really, what you make it legal is by agreeing to pay them. They know what they're doing is illegal. They know it's mail fraud. They're extorting you out of money that you don't owe them. They don't have a legal standing to collect it. Point blank, period. So you're not going to even make it to the courthouse door, especially for debts under $1,000. They already know they wrong. They don't want to show up. They're going to want to settle it. And most of the attorneys that they might have call you out of state anyway. They can't defend their cases. So, that's just the long and the short of it. Anybody else got any questions? I just got a collection letter from the gas company. Never read it until now. It says that I should respond in 30 days to dispute or about. Would this be good? Yeah, dispute it. If you go ahead and dispute, send out a dispute letter. If it's within that 30, that's the initial contact that they're making, the initial communication. In that 30-day period, if they cannot produce you evidence, if they don't respond, they cannot put it on your credit report. So it's very important, you guys, if you get any correspondence from a collection company, don't put it up in your cabinet. Don't push it to the side. You send a debt validation. Make them validate the debt. Make them show a legal right, legal standing for them to collect the debt. I have some people have some questions on, I'm sorry. I'm here on my YouTube channel. Let me make sure. King and Queen TV, can I pay on car notes in a month oh yeah, you can pay additional payments on your car note. What I suggest, if you do, contact them and let them know, or if you write an additional check, always pay on stating that it's towards the principal and not the interest. You want to pay off the principal on the loan. Okay. Hello, Sherry. Hi, Ronald. Anybody else? Okay, Ronald said, I was wondering, can you tell us if you have access to a precious formula on how a credit score is derived? Maybe I can look at some variables and changes. Okay, credit score is made up of 5 factors. First factor, payment history. That equates for 35% of the score. Second factor is utilization. That actually makes up 30%. Third factor is age of credit or length of credit. That's 15%. Then the next you have mix of credit, and that accounts for 10% of your credit score. And last but not least is inquiries or search for new credit, and that makes up 10% of your overall credit score. So that's the factors that makes up your credit score. All right, I'm just gonna add, I need this pass. Okay, and now if you need the package, you guys, I'll have it in the links if you want to review it, and you guys can start. Like I said, a quick guide on how to boost your credit. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate it. And the packages, my letter packages, I will have it for you guys. And for inquiries, Dwayne, I have an inquiry package. And like I said, you guys, inquiries are really easy because they don't have any basis. They didn't even, if now listen, let me equate this. If you had a trade line with that inquiry that you pulled, and that you got a trade line or a credit card from that pull and it's active, or even if it was a good reporting, do not dispute those, okay? That you have to know, because if you dispute those, they might delete that whole line. So you don't try to verify that. If it's connected to a credit card company, if you have an active credit card, and people will try that just to dispute the inquiry, even though they have an open card, they'll shut down that account on you. Okay, and that will be counterproductive. So when you're dealing with inquiries, to dispute those, and if you're going to go and just make them verify those through the company, directly through the company, look, do not deal with the ones that are within 90 days that you applied for, because most of those companies, if you went to a car dealership or, anything else, they had that paperwork. A lot of times they'll keep that paperwork, but after 90 days, they usually dispose of paperwork. So you want to work on your oldest inquiries moving forward, because they get to stay on your credit report for 2 years. So you work on the oldest ones to the newest ones. If you want, send them all at the same time, but anything within a 90-day window, skip over those, come back to that later. So I hope that's clear. And if it's connected to any credit item, do not do it. Tracy asks, what if the request is over 30 days old? You still verify the debt. Even though you don't have the protection under the Fair Credit Act where they can discontinue really reporting it. A lot of them, if you press them and they know what you're talking about, and you take the steps that I give you in my package, a lot of them just take it off. And the same with the inquiries. The statutes I put in a letter, a lot of them, and the information I put in the letter, a lot of them just will take it off. Okay, so even if it's over that 30-day period, you just go directly to that company if it's an inquiry or if it's a collection. For collections, verify the debt. Inquiries, you let them know I have a free letter. Send that initial letter, and it has the information. You want them to prove permissible purpose. And permissible purpose means that you gave them the authorization to access your credit file. You have to give them authorization. And that's with your ink signature. If they say, oh, it was an inquiry online, Shaggy, wasn't me. That's what he said. It wasn't me. I don't know nothing about it. And you probably don't know nothing about it. I don't know. Sorry. That's why I need the original application. Well, we ain't got it. Now, you don't say now, do you? Then somebody got to get sued. What? What? That's the girl. I hit him for her, and now that's $750. I got to sue you a little bit more. Because you just admitted to me on this reply letter, and the judge going to see that you ain't got no paperwork. Child, you can't be asking people credit report without no paperwork in a minute. Child, you just gave me the case. They're going to take it right on off and pay you. Yes, they will. I love that. I really do. I love those. Okay, I bought the template for $99. Okay, which book is it in a book format? No. If you bought the letters, the inquiry letters, those are the letters you send right out. The book you can get, my book where I talk about collections is a quick guide on how to boost your credit and stop collections. Now, in my book, A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit and Stop Collections, I do give you another strategy. I did not include that in the package because you need to read the book on that. Okay, you bought that. That's where I talk about using the strategy of the satisfactory and accordance agreement. Now, with the satisfactory and accordance agreement, along with the restrictive check endorsement, that's for items if it's higher than $1,000, $1,500, you can use that strategy. And what you will do is basically pay a little. Okay, you know all about that. Okay, you pay it and you pay a little and then reverse and make a new agreement. So if they don't delete the item, then you can take them to court because they violated and they're going back again. They're defaming your character. They still reporting this. I paid them. They cashed the check. They in violation. I didn't see where it was to be downloaded. What was to be downloaded, Doc? The package for the collection package, it should have came straight to you. The link should have opened up straight for you. Okay. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Oh, you bought the book. Okay, no, okay. No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, you didn't buy the letter. Okay, the letters is on my, if you want the letters, that's on my website, and that's different from the book. But in the book, if you have the book for collections, it has already the debt validation letter in that for you. Okay. If you bought the book, I need the inquiry letter. You can go on my website, Cornell. I'm going to leave it in the top of the link. The inquiry letters, you can get that initial letter for free. So you just go there directly to the website. Anybody else who haven't got that, go to the website and your first inquiry letter to send off, you can get that for free. Just go ahead and you'll be able to download it. So I'll leave that information in the link when I end the live. Oh, it is 10:24. I apologize, you guys. Can you update your salary with the bureaus or your debt? Yes, you can. For things like that to update, well, not really your salary. I don't think they have a number. If you want to update your salary, a lot of times when you're applying for credit cards and they ask you how much income you make, then you report how much income you make. But the salary part, no, they don't really believe you too much. You know, if you, and we'll go into that later. A lot of times you got to learn how to manipulate certain things. Let's say your address. Sometimes you send the bureau's information on your address, they're not going to believe you. Because if you have your bank statements going somewhere else, they take Lexus information over yours. Your best bet, you learn to manipulate the reporters, and that's the post office, put in a change of address. So when it comes down to your salary and things like that, they'll get that information from them. So you have to learn how to, if you applying for a credit card and when they ask how much is your monthly income, that's where you state that and they'll report it back. But like trying to prove your income, you can try to, dispute them and change your job status. Like I'm a, business owner. So on my credit report, I'm a CEO because I am the CEO. So a lot of times that might qualify you for higher limits if you know how to do that. But I'm going to let all you guys go. It is 10:30. I apologize, close to 10:30. If you have any questions, just ask them in the group, my Facebook group, and I will surely respond. All right, God bless. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate you guys tuning in. How do you remove an old address? I hope you guys are doing well. Try to just update and put a change of address, and that would help you. But you can dispute that through the bureaus. You could just send them a copy of your utility bill and send them a copy of your driver's license, and that would be real easy to do. Or you can put in a change of address and the post office, and they'll update the system. So I hope you guys enjoy your night. God bless.